All right, here we go. You got us.
Oops. It was a little early. What's up? What's up? Happy. It's not Sunday, Eric.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
It's
What the heck
hump
did you
day.
do
It's
to Sunday?
Wednesday.
That's right.
First time Cass and Camo on a Wednesday instead of a Sunday.
That's right.
Which I kind of like it. I kind of like it because now we have only 2 more days until the weekend, whereas every other time we're just getting the whole freaking week started, which sucks.
That's right. Yep. I'm
So
ready.
this is exciting. So we had to postpone. We had some technical difficulties on Sunday, and that's okay. So we had to postpone until tonight, which is great because we're still getting the guests in and hopefully having a little fun. Let's do some housekeeping like we normally do. Everybody, Cass and Camo TV on YouTube. If you're following us on Twitch and watching us on Twitch, check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and comment. Is what everybody does. It's Cass and Camo TV on YouTube. We are brought to you by Texas Select Seasoning. Use your discount code for Texas Select Seasoning and get all those awesome seasonings. All caps, Cass and Camo to get 15% off. Also brought to you by the big boys, Sea Arc. And who we're going to have on tonight our newest sponsor, Deer30, use the discount code. Get this. Are we ready for this? This is big news. Discount code Cast and Camo for Eric. How much?
24% off.
24% off. They're cheap bastards. They didn't want to give you that extra 1%, make it 25%, make it easy math, but 24. So we're going to get 24% off of Deer30, which is amazing. Maybe next year we'll get that extra 1% for everybody. We'll have, our legal counsel, we'll meet with their legal counsel and we'll work it out. And, there's going to be some negotiations, I'm sure. That's all right. All right. So last time we were on, we had the Outdoor Addicts, which was an interesting show. I think Coors Light was flowing pretty good that night for some people. So who knows? Maybe in the future we'll have the Outdoor Addicts on again, or maybe just Jackie.
I'd say just
who
Jackie.
knows? Yeah, it may just be Jackie.
Yeah.
But I've been there. We've all been there. Well, not everybody. Most of us have been there when you've had just a little too much. But how much? What was that? What was that discount again for Deer30? How much?
4%.
24%.
Yep, 24%.
Save that money. 24%. All right. So back by popular demand. Yeah, Sarah's right. You can't not afford to use these discounts. I've literally been calling everybody I know in Minnesota. Like, dude, here's the discount code. Use it. You're going to be planting your food plot anyway. Don't be a dumbass.
That's right.
We'll try to get those sales. But back by popular demand, we got to go through some emails. Email recap time. And I guess before we do this, we always kind of do this disclosure. If you guys are watching later on YouTube, or if you're listening, if you've downloaded it, we're going to be interacting with our chat because we are live on Twitch. And if you want to check us out and be a part of the chat and ask questions and get questions in for the guests, it's Cast and Camo on Twitch. Come check us out. But everybody's favorite part of the show, it's email time. Let's just jump right in. First email. Dear Cast and Camo, thank you for having me on as a guest. And speak of the devil, there he is. I think that's who we had on last time.
Stone cold.
You're very welcome, Outdoor Addicts, for kind of being on as a guest. All right, email number 2. Dear Eric and Todd, it's very personal already. I meant to send you an email every day this week, but kept forgetting. Sincerely, Joker says. So thank you, Joker, for finally remembering, for sending the email. We appreciate the thoughts of you trying to get the email out every day, and it just didn't quite work out, which is understandable. And the last email, yeah, Sarah, you're right. That is age-related forgetfulness. Joker is old, so we give him a little bit of a break on that. And then the last email, Dear Todd. Ooh, it's just to me, Eric. So screw you.
Thanks.
Thanks for asking if I'll be around in April to meet up when you come to Wyoming. Unfortunately, I'll be busy washing my hair that weekend. And to remind you, I shave my head. So yeah, sincerely, Jim Bortz. Love you, Jim. Thanks. Every week, I can always count on just heartfelt, warm appreciation and love from Mr. Bortz. Love it.
You've got mail.
We had mail. So that is the emails. And now here, you guys, we talked about it a little bit, but I'm going to show you guys.
Oh my.
I forgot to add. So here we're going to on-air production meeting. Watch this.
All right.
Watch how fancy I get real quick. All right. Well, this is good enough. I forgot that I didn't add our sound into the other scene because I'm a noob. All right. So here's the website, y'all. castandcamotv.com. I wanted to show you guys the actual website. I'm assuming we have sound back now. So this is the website. It's kind of cool. And we got, just little picture up there. And then down here, we've got some cool pictures. That's the little cute 8-pointer that tortured us last year in the stand. Oops, I went too fast. There was Eric sitting up in the trees with his bears.
Thanks.
Yep. And there's that pesky coyote that he shot. And there's my pet walrus that I karate kick in the face all the time, Vex Kwando. There's a big catfish, and there's the big redfish from last spring. Keep paging through deer stand. Yeah, we just got pictures. We got fish and steak and mashed taters. Smaller redfish, catfish in America.
Oh my God.
There's some spearing. Fishing on the ice. There's Eric shooting some deers, and they're back. Now, and then we're going to scroll back up to the top. Our previous episodes, I think we're allowed to have 11 or 12. So we've got the previous episodes. If you guys have missed episodes, y'all can check them out on the website. Just go to the previous episodes. They're all listed right here for you. They're right there. Nice and accessible. You can check the schedule right now. We literally have like 8 people that I'm waiting to pick dates, and it's getting a little stressful. So we got the schedule and who's coming up. So right now that we got the 3 people that are, put it in your favorites. And then my favorite page is the sponsors. We all love our sponsors. We got our Cast and Camo discount codes for 2 of those sponsors. And here's one of the things I wanted to do, because everybody that comes on usually has something that they're doing, whether it's a business or whatever it might be. So any link to any guest that we've had on is all listed right here. And I don't have Deer30 in there because we have them on as the sponsor in the sponsor section. But if you go back and watch the episodes and you're interested or curious on checking out whoever the guest was, if there's a link, their links are in the guest links. And then this is one of my favorite parts, the merch. We got the merch. Ooh. Just got a response back from one of the guys that is possibly going to be a guest. So we've got hats, we got winter hats. We've got other hats, all sorts of stuff. We got some clothing, some t-shirts, Cast and Camo. And Eric, feel free to send me your logo. I'll get some t-shirts and sweatshirts with your logo on it. Some hoodies, some aprons, some polos, some pants, some leggings. Y'all, if you want your own Vex Kwando sweatshirt, a hoodie of me kicking that walrus in the face, go on and get it. And for all the ladies, if you want my logo on your ass, here's some bikini bottoms. Just made that just for you guys. A little Vex Kwando t-shirt. Oh yeah. Y'all need one. We have some neck gaiters, different neck gaiters. We got some drinkware. That's some good stuff, man. It's Camelback bottles, some tumblers, some coffee mugs. Y'all are coffee drinkers. And some fun stuff. We've got mouse pads, we've got stickers, we've got patches, and my favorite, this big throw blanket for $30. Come on, I've already ordered like half the stuff because I want one of everything. But that's the website, and then also the last part. Go back to the website. In the more, if you guys ever are around somebody or that doesn't have Twitch but you want to watch, come to the website. You can watch Cast and Camo live if we're live. You can come to the website and check out Cast and Camo live. If I'm live, if I ever stream again, you can click that button and you can watch me fishing and hunting or doing whatever. And Chief is live twice a day, 7 days a week, sometimes more. You can check him out live right through our website. Jim is so glad he pulled the sponsorship. Now, speaking of giving people the benefit of the doubt for being old, it took him about 7 minutes to finally get his cheap shot in. After my cheap shot. Love you, Jim. All right. So on to, I'm just going to close that. On to, there's that email from Bortz washing his hair that weekend. Let's check. I only got a 30-second video from these guys, but it's a nice, quick, brief introduction. I'm not even sure if Damon's still around. Is he still there? He's there. No, he is still there. All right, he's still there. So we'll play the 30-second video, and then we'll jump in getting these guys. And Damon's got to go. He's got to go. He's got important things, which we'll explain. So let's jump right into that video. All right, the fun little video from those guys. You guys had look, just in time. Jeremy's just in time. He's out of breath.
Those steps are brutal.
And I think I have, if Sarah can help me out, I think it's in the title, the Instagram. I got you guys' Instagram. If y'all want to see more pictures and videos of these guys, check out their Instagram. There was just so much good stuff I couldn't pick. So I'm like, you know what? Let everybody go to your Instagram, check it out. Follow them on Instagram. Check out their website. I think we've got the link to their website in there. But there is our friends, Jeremy and Damon from Deer30. I need an applause button. We need some applause, but we'll do this instead. Save that money because they're giving us 24% off. Crazy.
Not
25. We got to work for that. Yeah. We got to work for it. Well, welcome in. Thanks guys for being flexible and being able to come on during the week.
Hey, glad to have us.
Didn't quite work out Sunday, but that's okay. We're here. We're here. So let's dive right in. Well, before we get going, Damon's gonna, just so everybody knows, Damon's wife's birthday is today. He's taking a little bit of time away from the birthday festivities, and so he'll probably be heading out here shortly. But that's okay. Damon will be back on in the future, I'm sure. Yeah. But before Damon gets out of here,
birthday party.
That's very important. Yes.
Our birthday.
Before you head out, if you guys don't each mind kind of giving us a background of yourselves and then kind of morphing it together, how did Deer30 come about? But you give backgrounds of each other, or for yourselves, not each other. That'd be kind of weird. You're not giving vows.
This is my partner, Damon. He was born on June 3rd.
Your heterosexual life, right? I like it.
So, so we've been around since 2016 as a company. We saw a need. We saw a niche we could occupy, which was, in our mind at the time, quality whitetail mineral. That was our bread and butter. That's what got us started, got us quote unquote on the map, whatever you want to call it. Everything was high salt. Not to name any names, you can do your own research by walking through any store and picking up what's on the shelf. But we do have salt. It's an attractant. It's our cheapest ingredient, but these bigger companies just amplify that, and they're kind of after profit margins, and that's fair. You'll get a lot of pictures with salt, but we came in with calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, what the deer needed, and it just kind of snowballed, and here we are 8 years later and gaining steam and having a hell of a good time doing it. And we've added a full line of whitetail nutrition through protein, food plot seed, and we travel hunt and meet great people and network and try to do things like this every chance we get. A, because we enjoy it, but B, because you can't ever meet too many people and you get to talking and then you've been to the same place or hunted with the same outfitter or you put your boat in at the same ramp. So it's just it's a fun community to be a part of, and we enjoy getting our kids and others, youth turkey season's coming up. We're fired up. I'm more excited for a youth opener than I am the adult opener. That's what we do. We're family men. We're both married with kids, and I'll let Damon give his rundown, but that's pretty much me.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
Hey, yes, killed it, bub.
Thanks, my man. Good luck. Good luck calling that.
Killed it. Thank y'all. We'll see you.
www.deer30mineral.com.
So, how did you guys meet?
Through Tinder, we already told you.
Yeah, he slipped my dude. We're 20 minutes from each other, and
He needed somebody to help him with the business that kills big deer.
so, I needed somebody that could run that mouth a little bit. So
It sounds like there's a little bit of truth to all of that.
yeah, I was referred to Damon.
He came highly regarded.
It's been fun. It's just like any business that's young or just beginning, or there are successful business out there within 2 or 3 years or multi-million-dollar companies. We are not one of those. But it's been fun starting with nothing and just putting all the money back into the company, and continually to grow it. When you go places out of state or to a big trade show out of state and things like that, and people are coming up to you going, "Oh man, my neighbor uses that and I use it, and I got 2 or 3 people at work that use it, and they're in South Carolina or something." That's cool to us.
Right.
That's the really, really cool part. So hopefully by the end of this year, if everything works out the way it's supposed to, the majority of the entire Midwest is going to have easy accessibility to maybe not all of our products, but some of our products sooner than others. But give us time. We're trying to get them as close to you as we possibly can. I promise you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And hopefully we can do something to help you guys out with that. I'm more than happy to help. I would love to help. So that's one of the reasons we are happy to team up.
If you can hook us up with all these buyers in really dark alleys, that would be amazing.
Oh, we do have Buzzard. We could get him to come up. That's right.
That is true.
Yeah,
that's true.
We do have
but
do y'all have oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bud. You're the boss.
Thank you. Jeremy, see, he's got one thing right. Do you guys have like a biology background, a chemistry background?
Yeah, I used to be with NASA, and go ahead, tell them who you was with.
All that. I just went to a liberal arts college, a conservative arts college, and I do have a biology degree.
And he voted for Biden
back in '64. That was back in '64. Yeah, no, I actually do have a biology background. My dad, straight out of college, he did wildlife biology. He worked he was a conservation officer for the state of Kentucky. And I guess I switched my major in college, and I guess I just kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps. And then I quickly found out I was not enough of a dickhead to be a game warden. And
we love them.
We love them. Love them. But
pointing up, you asshole.
I pivoted, and I did some environmental stuff out west. Worked in Colorado and Utah in the oil fields, and ended up back here and started a family and started a business, and just kind of wanted to get plugged into the outdoors, and just stumbled into this by way of necessity, I guess.
Nice.
And Damon has never launched a rocket. I just want to clarify that.
He just knows how to draw his bow back, right?
The guy that builds the rocket typically isn't the guy that launches the rocket.
That's true. That is true, Damon. That 100% true.
So he doesn't know what to do with his hands, everybody. He doesn't know what to do with his hands.
How did Jeremy, let me ask you a question real quick. How did you come up with the formula?
I'm still not sure why I brought him on.
Yeah, that is. How did you come up with the formula that you decided that that's what you needed? Did you guys? I mean,
yep. So it was about batch 3. So we live in cattle country. We live in Amish country. So there's been some kind of old wives' tales, I guess, old some secret family recipes that have floated around for years, and we just kind of patchworked a few of those together and put our own twist on it. And about batch 3, we got something that we felt like looked good. The consistency was right. It poured out well. It didn't hold a bunch of humidity. And honestly, we just made it for ourselves. And then we were like, oh man, like we probably need to heat seal this. Because at the time we were like, man, we just made a big batch. It's 250 pounds. And so we just heat sealed them in these little 4-pound bags at the time. And we were just going to kind of stockpile them and use them as we needed them. And then we're like, man, we don't need all this. So we just passed them out to some buddies. And then they were like, oh, everybody at the time, Shark Tank was very popular. Like, man, you got to go on Shark Tank. Man, we don't have a business license. Like we're just make some stuff. So it just, enough people said that. And I thought, what the hell, let's give it a go. And so, I mean, I've said this to a lot of people. You're never done. You can go bankrupt 7 times. You're never done until you quit. And we've been lucky enough to stay cash flow positive and just keep the hammer down and keep going. So
how do you test it? Like, what's the QA? It's going to grow, but how do you know, like, the blends this is what the deer want? Do you have like a pen of deer that you say, okay, it's dinner time and you have them trained, or how does that testing and QA go?
Lots and lots of cell cameras, R&D, being out there in the stands, watching the deer react to it, everything. I mean, right now we're pushing 13, 14 SKUs. So none of those products were thought of yesterday and put in a bag to sell today. They were thought of 2 years ago. They were R&D'd for 2 years. They were tweaked several times. And if they were good enough, then they were put in a bag. So you just don't. And I'm sure there may be companies out there that do that. We are definitely not one of them. It is going to be as extensive as we can do to make sure.
Extensive, not expensive.
Extensive.
Look at that look.
Oh yeah,
you can afford it.
Yes, everybody can afford it. But yeah, we are not one of those companies that says, "Oh man, that sounds good. Let's put that in a bag and market it." So anything that is purchased from us, we use it on our own farms. So it's not something. It's not just a bag sitting there for somebody to buy. I mean, it's
right.
We love it.
Yeah, and so that's our roots, right? Like that's why we got into this, was to not be the big box brand, and that's just our MO. So we're gonna stick with it.
We got people in Kansas, we got people in Michigan, we got people in Florida, Louisiana, West Virginia, and North Carolina that we can send product to through the R&D and try it in different parts of the country and see what, because what works good in Louisiana might not work good in Michigan.
Right.
What works good in Kentucky might not work good in Florida. And, and is there one product that works good everywhere? I don't know. I can't be everywhere. I don't know. So you got to develop a product that will work the best for most. Then see where it goes from there, you know.
So does some of that have to do with the ingredients and the nutrients and the minerals that are in your blends, and compared to like Florida deer versus Michigan deer, or is it the soil? Does like what plays into that? The soil or the animals?
Soil type.
Yeah. At the end of the day, whitetail or whitetail. Now they're browsing, they're, you know, different things. The deer in Florida browse and feed on different things than the deer here do. So, but at the end of the day, there's still whitetail.
Yeah, I mean a feeder's a feeder. If you got it up off the ground and they're eating our protein feed, they're going to eat that wherever. But mainly like the mineral, and you know some of our food plot blends are going to do better in non-sandy soil, well-drained soils versus, you know, a clay, right? So red dirt versus, you know, black river bottom dirt. But the main thing is just that's it. Like he said, R&D, get it out there, put it in as many people's hands as possible. And we despise the term pro staff. We feel like that's was overused a long time ago. But those people are invaluable to us. We call them our team, right? So the Deer30 team, those people, their feedback, countless hours in a stand that we can't. So, I mean, we're two people, right? So that is, we have a huge support system. We've had a lot of people help us along the way, and we're just rolling.
That's one thing that we aren't scared to do. I'll slick ass for help, buddy. We've met some pretty amazing people in the outdoor industry that have been there, they've done it, and become extremely successful, extremely widely known. And if I get to a point, or either one of us get to a point, and we need help, it's a phone call. And the first words out of my mouth is, "Hey, man, sorry to bother you. I need some help. What do I do? What do we do here?"
Right.
I ain't, you know, I'm definitely not scared to ask for help if I need it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that people, instead of learning the hard way, they've already been there and done it, so they can hopefully help you skip that hurdle that you're about to trip over, you know?
Right. Definitely. We have one question from chat. I'm going to say what the question is. I don't personally understand it. You guys have a lot to teach me about this stuff, but the question is, you don't seed coat your seeds, correct? I'll assume you guys know what they mean.
We have an inoculant on some of our.
Okay, he said he went to your website and found the answer.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you found the answer.
Just as I was reading the question, he typed that in chat that he found the answer. I think Eric, you were maybe talking about this before we went live when we were chit chatting. As far as the different seasons, is there different blends for over the winter, for the spring? Like how does that play into it? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have a full line of products. So as it relates to, let's say, food plot seed. So in the springtime, right now, perfect time to go out and frost seed, except when it's 70 degrees outside. But like last week, we had a good stretch of cool weather. Damon ran down to we do property management as well. So he ran down to a property that we have, and he saw it was going to be 24 degrees the next morning. Took a leaf blower. We use Extreme Blower products. It looks like a paintball hopper, straps to your leaf blower. They send you the hole saw bit, drill it in. It's got a little gate on it, and you throw your clover seed in there, and you just run your leaf blower, and saves a lot of effort and a lot of this with a hand seeder.
Yeah, let's see. We got one farm that's exactly 8 acres, and we frost seeded it last year, just him and I. And he drove the buggy, and I sat in the back of the buggy on a bow target with the blower, and we frost seeded 8 acres in about 35 minutes.
Oh wow!
And that's not one 8 acre field. That is what is it? It's 6 different fields.
Yeah, driving down the road. I
So-
mean, you're in and out. It's the way to do it if you've got more than just a little half-acre kill plot or something.
Yeah.
But
like right now, you want to frost seed your clovers because that ground freezes the surface at night, then it warms back up during the day, then it freezes again the next night, then it warms back up during the day. It actually expand and contract that top layer of soil and suck it clover seed down in there. We seeded that on a Wednesday. I was back in there on Friday, and I went and looked for clover seed, and I could not find one clover seed. So in 2 days,
Wow.
it sucked it in the ground. But we have products that can be used certain times a year, can be used all around, year round. Best thing for all around is definitely your clover. We have a product called Summer Smash that we are very excited about.
Oh, is it new?
Excuse me?
Is it new?
It's a food plot blend.
summer protein. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spring-summer mix. It gets you all the way up into the fall. You plant in around April. We have your border wall product, which is you could use it as a plot screen, a funneling mechanism to move deer from point A to point B to your advantage. That product is planted in 1st of June, into Memorial Day, something like that, right in that area.
That's going to get 10 to 12 feet high. So it's a screen. It's
Oh,
a
wow.
literal border that can
barrier.
hide you walk into your ground or to your shooting house. It can hide your access. Or
You got a nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Road hunters, whatever.
People like Eric and stuff, driving by your farm every day, you want to make sure you have a good row of border wall down through there, because if anybody's going to stop and window shoot one, it's that fella right there.
Well, now that we know where he's at, too.
Oh, thank you.
He's got that property that.
Oh, yeah. He told us where all his property was,
Yeah,
didn't he?
so we're going to do border wall.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing, though, Damon. The last time I seen you, I was out on the river, and you was running around with a bow and arrow and a generator and all kind of lights shooting fish.
Yeah, but you were running around with lights and a rifle.
Well, that works on catfish real well. Have you ever tried that?
I was trying to be quiet. You were over, didn't care. Boom.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, Damon and Jeremy both live here close to me, and I knew Damon before, 15 years ago, I guess. Hasn't it been, Damon? At least
It's been longer than that.
Has it been longer than that? Yeah. So
it's been
back when I was doing the TV show and everything, I ran into Damon. Damon was doing a lot of bow shooting fish here in Ohio. He was in tournaments and that. So then he ends up getting wrapped up into this. And then when I talked to Jeremy the first day, I passed one of them in the truck. And I told Todd about them, and I said, look up their phone number. And then Jeremy says, oh, by the way, Damon knows you. I'm like, then I remembered meeting you. So, yeah. But anyway.
we're frozen. Look.
No, you're not. Oh, you are frozen on. There it goes.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
I thought they were just listening intently.
No, they were actually froze there for a minute. That's what the deer's supposed to do, is freeze. That seed's working right here on the stream.
That's right.
Yeah.
New product, freeze frame.
So, Eric, when you hit those deer with that Megan Candle Power Spotlight, do they freeze like that or do they run?
They run like hell. Damon, they run like crazy. Well, you was with me a couple of times. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I wasn't even 16 years old. I couldn't even drive, so I had to be with you.
Oh my God.
So we've already got purchases made from your website.
Yes, look at this.
It just came through.
Yeah, look at that. And actually, Kelly is in Kentucky as well. She's a transplant. She's originally from Minnesota, and we sent her away to go. She'd made us all sugar rich on her cakes in Minnesota, so we sent her to Kentucky. She's a
We
cake decorator.
trade for cakes.
There you go,
We'll work
Kelly.
for cake.
There you go, Kelly.
She asked that at the beginning of the show.
did.
She said, I wonder if they'll trade for cakes.
Yep.
Yeah, look at me. I'm like a huge cake myself.
You want to see this man eat baked beans?
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Kelly. We appreciate you.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Did Kelly used the 24% discount?
She did.
Did she?
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, there you go, Kelly.
Gosh, dang it.
And they're about to build their forever home on some amazing and absolutely gorgeous property. And I would guess they're going to be ordering their food and their minerals from you guys. Hopefully, Kelly, you better. You're going to be banned.
Love it.
Yeah,
But actually, joking aside, kind of going back to the last thing you guys were talking about with that shield. When okay, this is a multi-leveled question. Okay. So, and I know, sorry, Damon, I don't mean to get too complicated.
I'm going to
Yeah,
write
you
this down.
better write it down.
yeah.
But there are people that will say, don't ever hunt a food plot. And one of the reasons, and I know you're going to disagree with that, and I think there's a debate, but I think one of the points that people make is you're giving up your best spot all the time. But if you have that shield, if you're planting that shield and you're not giving up yourself, that can be a benefit, right? So that gives you a chance to hunt that food plot. Yes, Damon.
Yeah, so
He's got his hand up.
Our answer, excuse me. Our answer to that is there shouldn't be no objection to hunting any way you want to hunt. You hunt the way you want to hunt.
That's right. I agree with that 100%.
If you want to hunt in the middle of your food plot in a lawn chair, do it.
hey, we actually
Damon
know
does.
If you want to sit on a telephone pole on a high line 300 yards from your food plot, do it. If you want to shoot a spike, shoot it.
I mean,
Who cares?
There's a
It's
lot of
your
truth.
hunt. It's your property. It's your hunt. It's your lease. It's your license. It's your gas that got you there.
Yeah.
It's your three-wheeler that you rode in on. It's your grandpa's rifle that you're using. It doesn't matter.
I'd buy a three-wheeler. Hello.
Oh, I'm three-wheelers, man. Those were the days.
They're great for trespassing.
Cut it. Let's edit that out.
Yeah. I don't think we can edit that one.
So, but I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. But no, I mean, I think where people screw up a lot in food plots is there's a lot of grown men that are scared of the dark, and I don't mean that in the way that it sounds, but you go, oh shit, shooting light, or they're self-filming, I got to turn my camera off. It's time to climb down. You got 13 does out in the food plot. Well, guess what? Sometimes you've sat there for 4 hours. Sometimes you got to suck it up and sit there for another 45 minutes, or have a buddy drive in with some headlights and act like he's farm equipment. But access and egress is huge and is very, very underestimated. And people go, there's a reason people say the best time to kill a big deer is the first time you hunt that stand. And there's a lot of truth to that, because that deer is not used to human traffic at their most vulnerable times, which is first 30 minutes, last 30 minutes. So anything you can do to hide you going in, you coming out, goes a long way.
Speaking of
Go
the
ahead.
last 30 minutes and the first 30 minutes,
Segue.
2024 Deer30 product of the year,
Mm-hmm.
of the world, of the universe, is going to hit this year. We cannot give you no details right now because
Ooh.
our attorney said no, don't do it yet. But I just want to let you know that there is, as of right now, we know of 3 new products coming out of Deer30. One is going to change the world.
Wow.
Yep. So it's pretty epic. We're excited. But a little teaser, just to give you the reason I stopped tape right then, because a little hint is the first 30 minutes and the last 30 minutes.
And Eric, it is not a spotlight.
And it's not stink bait.
Are you sure it ain't stink bait?
Speaking of stink bait,
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Do it.
no. No, I ain't got nothing.
That's our other new blend this year.
Yeah,
That's what you put on your neighbor's property.
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right next to where you guys are, next to us. I'm gonna go over and put stink bait the whole way down that line.
Well, you know
But
what's
I got
kind of
mothballs.
when where I rifle hunt, it's a huge state forest, but right where we hunt, I don't know how many acres, if it's 80 or 100 acres, that is butted right up to where we hunt, and they have I don't know how many food plots planted on that private land, and kind of as I learned that area, it was like great. You know, I always wanted to send them a Christmas card to say thank you for your food plots, because I'm hunting the public land and I can see, I'm watching the deer go and I can see where they're going. I know exactly where they're going and why they're going there, and I'm setting up my stands in between.
Yeah, when
And we
we're
always
laying
did
out
really well.
farms, we really try to keep food plots. Depending on the cover, we try to keep them 150, 200, at least 150, 200 yards inside the property, just so your neighbors aren't benefiting from all the hard work and the investment as much as you are.
Yep.
You know, we go into a lot of places where we're walking property and there be a boss buck on the other side of the barbed wire fence.
And guess which
Right.
direction that ladder stand's facing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we try to keep the property lines thick. Try to keep the bedding on you. Try to keep your food plots on the interior region of the farm. So
If
forth,
you can.
know.
I mean, some people aren't going to have
If you
those
can,
options.
some
Yeah.
people you can't. You got to do what you got to do. But
Yep.
you know, you put up a hot wire.
you can definitely, with these food plots, you can definitely pull deer off of other property. I mean, that is probably like down there where we are. You know exactly where we are. We got game lands bordering all of us. They're not allowed to rifle hunt that game lands. They have to quit bow hunting on November 1st. So a lot of them deer down there on the farms come off them game lands over onto our fields. You know what I mean? Which makes it really nice for us, you know, but.
And like we were just talking about, you can use some of your products to build or grow natural funnels.
Yeah.
And if you have no choice but to have, I only have one spot to put a food plot, use those other products to make those deer funnel towards that and away from other areas.
Yeah, we've taken you know, most what we see here in Western Kentucky, Tennessee, Southern Illinois, little places like that, most food plots are acre and a half or less.
Right.
Most of them, I'm going to say, are probably less than an acre. That's why all of our food plot blends are sold by the half acre, because we don't want to sell them in the 1 acre increments, and somebody with a smaller plot have to purchase more than what they need and then over apply the product because they got it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to use a half a bag, then take the other half and stick it in the refrigerator till next year, which would be perfectly fine. It'll grow just like it did this year.
Right.
They're going to put the whole bag and they're going to over apply it, and it's going to grow too thick and it's not going to reach its max potential. But I don't know where I was going. Pick it up, buddy.
And let me bring one thing up, Damon. Like a lot of these farms around here, they have these trails going in and out of the fields and that. And one thing a lot of people don't pay attention to, they don't have to be out in the middle of a field, these food plots. They can be them trails. Them deer work them trails. If you've got a clover trail all the way back into your farm, the old four-wheeler trails or an old logging trail, them things work really great for the clover.
Yeah, throw some oats, winter wheat,
Yeah.
in a tree. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take much. Deer need variety.
Right.
So what we try to do, we try to get creative. We love tinkering, just like anybody else that has a hobby, whether you're working on cars or working on your house or whatever. It's neat to and we gather information from our quote unquote competitors. Like we watch a lot of these type of things. Like we're podcast guys, obviously. Like we're big Twitch guys, right? I mean,
That's exactly right.
Tier 3 subs.
what would you do? What would you do without Twitch?
I freaking love Twitch,
Bro. So full disclosure, we learned what Twitch.
That's what I'm gonna name my third kid.
We both need gamer chairs. We're on this goofy ass couch.
Yeah, look at them.
Those
That's like-
chairs.
Wow.
Mine even has a pillow. Look.
You
I have
know
a
one
pillow
thing
on
they
mine.
ain't got though? They ain't got none of that shit.
I do have that. They're out in the living room, though.
Yeah, mine are
I
up on
bet
this wall
you-
right here.
Bet you ain't.
How many of them were illegally shot with the spotlight, Damon?
Oh, see, now I was going to ask what he paid for all those on eBay.
Dude, flea markets. Sleeper. It's a sleeper. So, but no, in all seriousness, I have no idea what we were talking.
Oh, here he goes. I should have never said show hands because this is getting bad.
In the chat, will you send a link for those gamer chairs? Because this sucks.
No. Lean back. Lean
Damon.
back here, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, look. I can't even see it.
And unfortunately, Damon just gave up his secret. He wasn't going to show his britches, but he just showed everybody that he's wearing his flannel pants.
Ooh.
His legs
Yeah.
came up with the hands.
Todd, don't talk about britches.
Yeah, stand up, Todd.
Yeah, stand up, Todd.
I'm not standing up. Nope.
No.
Oh my God, this is bad.
Okay, so I do have a question. Do people come to you and say, here's my Onyx of my property. Help me figure out where to put this, that, or the other. What is my strategy? Do you guys help with that?
Yeah.
Almost like a consulting?
Yep, and what Damon just when he spun around and you saw all the mounts, like we'll come up here and put it on the big screen and literally pick apart their Onyx. Like it's not something you just casually do because that guy has put. I mean, that guy's basically took on a second mortgage. You know, if he's an average guy, and you know, his wife's pissed that he bought a hunting property, and like we want to take our time to, you know, to help that guy or lady out. And so, I mean, we put a lot of time into that. And
I mean, that's just a small piece of a 500-acre farm.
Right.
we do we
You know?
treat every property as if it were our own. And
That looked familiar, Damon. That farm looked
ooh,
familiar.
yeah.
Isn't that-
grade that out.
You are, weren't you? You sorry ass.
That's nowhere near you.
But we, you know, every time we're on a farm, we learn something. Every time we're on a farm, we learn something. There are a few guys in the industry that, I mean, they're the best. Hands down, they are the best. And we try to learn as much as we can from them. And we do what we know is going to work, and we learn other things that work throughout that process. And don't get me wrong, we learn a lot of things that we'll never do again,
Right.
but that's okay. You know, I didn't read it in a magazine, or I may have read it in a magazine, and I tried it. It didn't work. Okay, let's find out what works.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
that's it. And it's a weird mix of, there's a lot of guys who buy a property and they want tractor therapy. They're like, listen, I want you to tell me what to do, but I want to go out there and do it. And then there's some guys that are like, listen, you tell me what you need, I will buy you the equipment. Like, we've had guys spend $80,000-$90,000 on a tractor and like a Genesis type unit and then a bush hog, and they're like, go do your thing. And we will do that as well. But it's neat setting up someone's property for them, however that looks, whether that's just us consulting and telling them what to do, or if we physically go out there and do it. It is a very enjoyable. Am I right? Like,
yeah, I'm not stuck in an office.
Yeah.
You know, the woods is our office or our playground. And when you can combine your office with your playground, I mean, you don't work a day in your life, you know. And when that landowner or that landowner's guest or that landowner's child or whoever is successful because of what you did for them or what you recommended, that's it. I mean, there's nothing else at that point. I don't care if they paid us $300,000. I don't care.
Right.
You know, just that successful.
Well, you guys also sell a planting machine there too, correct? Is that what or are you through another company for that? Because we got a big John dealer in here right now in the chat room too, and he's saying he can hook you up for tractors.
There you go. We just got two of them. We just got a brand new 5067E front wheel assist loader and everything, and then we just ended up with a 5075E loader cab tractor with a 12-foot back wing.
No, premium cab.
Oh, premium cab. Got the premium cab.
Premium cab.
He knows
yeah.
about the air rods.
He knows. Oh, it's nice. That thing has lumbar.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Why do you need turn signals on your bush hog?
Because when you're going down the road,
I know,
Yeah, on the highway.
But listen,
that's where Eric hunts, on the road.
Shot coming out the right side.
Wait till we go for
He
coffee.
turns on the turn signal which way he's going to put the rifle out the window.
Oh,
I can't believe you're just sitting there taking this.
Hey, you know what, Mr. John Deere guy on the chat room right now? We spent all that money and ain't got a damn hat yet.
Ooh, I will take it.
Oh.
2 tractors and a bush hog.
Well, see, and that should have been the
Ain't
deal.
even got a hat, bub.
And I've talked to him about that before. These dealers should be giving you guys hats because, like down at our farm, they don't give them hats. They got to beg for this stuff.
So, Eric, I bought 40 acres down there in Aussie Bottoms years ago, and God love her, my wife sat on my Whitetail Properties hat. I bought it through them, and she sat on it one day, and I picked it up, and it was just completely smashed. And I said, "That is a $94,000 hat." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Yeah, I bought the hat, and they threw me the farm." And that's, I mean, we're just asking. Look at this. This thing's just covered in dust. Like,
Look at that. Got deer poop all over it.
Look at this. Where's my hat at, by the way?
you can have these when we get these green and
Well,
golden.
thank you. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
anyway,
as soon as we get these John Deere ones, we'll ship you these.
you're actually going to send it to my house. He just said in there he's going to ship your hats to my house. There you go, guys. How's that?
Thank you, sir.
We're going to take good care of you.
John Deere 30. I love it.
John Deere 30. I like it. That's got a good ring to it.
Yeah,
I can smell a partnership.
So, can you explain to me your planner that you guys have on your site a little bit? if you don't
That
mind.
is a great friend of ours down on the south side of Nashville, Tennessee, that makes implements for ATV use and small tractor, right?
Yep. So 3 point.
Yeah, small tractor, which I'm going to say is probably going to be under that 25, 30 horse or under size,
Right.
or ATV, UTV things.
Like a ball hitch hookup.
Ball hitch, small 3 points.
Yep.
But they're pretty amazing for the people that have a couple half-acre plots or
Very tight access.
yes,
Okay.
where your path to your plot is no more than a side-by-side path.
Yeah. So the name of that company is Micro Food Plots. They don't do 15-acre clover plots. I mean,
Right.
you can, but you're going to be out there all day. So
Sure.
their niche is for the timber guy that wants to put in a little 1/4 acre kill plot.
Or do your roads through your farm.
And there's a lot of people out there that they hit, right? That's their target market is very big.
So we have the master
Master Series.
master series here, and the good thing about it is we can break the ground, we can seed it, we can drag it, and we can pack it all in one pass.
Right.
If the soil is good enough to take that.
Right.
Now, a lot of times you need to drop the disc part and break the ground up a little bit before you do that final pass where you're seeding, packing, dragging, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you what, I wish to God I had something like that when I was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Because I can remember me out sneaking my dad's tiller out of the barn and throwing it on a little bitty trailer hooked up to my 3-wheeler and dragging it back in the farm and trying to break up some ground before my dad got home from work and make sure I had the tiller back in the garage or in the building before dad got home because he'd have killed me. But yeah, we're spoiled. We are.
So what would you recommend for the fall before, like, end of September, beginning of October, when these farmers are starting to take their cornfields out? What would you recommend for these people to use in them type of a field?
So if you are going into a farmer's field, okay, the first thing I would do is ask your farmer if it is okay for you to plant product in that field.
Right.
Because they spend a lot of money on pre-emergence, weed control, all this stuff. But most farmers don't care as long as you're not planting anything that is perennial.
Right.
As long as it is an annual, they are typically okay. So what we do, we have one farm that is nothing but crop. It's got a lot of CRP, and the farmer will not let us, because in the CRP program, you can actually, by the way, the bylaws state of it here in Kentucky, you can actually plant 10% of the CRP ground in wildlife program,
Okay.
food plots, etc. Okay, so this farmer says no. 100% of it's going to be on CRP. So we approached him and said, okay, what about if we plant your corn and bean field and it not affect your crop? Well, his first thing was, how in the hell are you going to do that?
Right.
So remember earlier when Tate was telling you about the extreme blower product that we have on our blowers?
Right.
So what we do is as soon as those beans, if you're going into a soybean field, as soon as those beans start to turn brown, okay?
Yeah.
As soon as you see that first leaf turn brown, go in there with that extreme blower and blow your brassicas in. There's different annual mixes you can blow in.
Right.
Just walk through your beans, and blow that product right into your standing beans. Okay.
Right.
As the wind blows and the blower blows, those seeds are going to fall to the ground. Then those brown leaves are going to fall. When those fall to the soil, they cover the seed that you just blew in over the next couple weeks. Okay.
Yep.
So therefore that earth vapor and all that moisture coming out of the soil hydrates that seed and starts the germination process.
Right.
Then all of a sudden on these soybeans, you have just the stalk and the beans, right?
Yep.
Then so you'll have 4 to 5 to 6 inches of growth. And then the farmer comes in and cuts his beans out and drives through your food plot.
Yep.
Then as soon as that big amount of sunlight and all that stuff hits that, the farmer's done out and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then boom, your food plot comes right in there.
Right.
A lot of your farmers will allow you to plant brassicas in their crop field before they will anything else, because it provides a bunch of biomass, organic matter, things like that to their crop field, which is beneficial for their next year's crop.
Right.
And it helps with the compaction.
So you could do the same thing to corn.
Right.
As soon as that corn starts to turn brown.
Well, the only problem we
there.
have here is they go in and we plow our fields with the corn after the corn is taken out. So they till them up a lot of times around here.
They do that because of flooding down there where you're at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's less erosion on that.
Right. Yeah, you're right. We have that every year. So the soybean fields we don't touch, but the corn fields we do.
Yeah, we do the exact same thing that I just told you on the farm next to you.
Right. Right.
That 3,000 acre chunk there that Billy has, we do the exact same thing there.
Right.
So
Good
you
old
can
Billy.
what I'm trying to get at is most people that have hunting farms have crop ground.
Right.
A lot of people don't need tractors, don't need big equipment, don't need expensive equipment, don't need all this other stuff.
Right.
There is ways to do it very successfully with just a extreme blower,
right,
product seeder.
Yeah.
I mean,
$200 setup between your blower and your attachment.
Yeah, and I went last year when we got done seeding all the farms we seeded. I had about 5 pounds of seed left in a big bag, and I went over and checked some cameras and stuff like that on my farm, and I got one spot there that in the fall it really opens up. There's one spot that is really open to the sunlight. Then the rest of it, the forest floor, the floor in it just really opens up. So I went in there with that blower. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put this seed in this blower. I'm gonna walk through this woods and I'm just gonna blow seed everywhere.
Right.
And I never done it. And we're talking on top of leaf litter,
pine needles,
everything. And I went in and seeded this thing. I ended up doing about an acre inside of a woods and left and actually forgot about it. Forgot that I did it because it's something we don't never do or we don't have to maintain or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back, what was it, about 3 weeks later?
You had quick, I mean, those brassicas popped quick.
Yeah, I went back about 3 weeks later and I walked in that woods when everything started to brown down.
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. The floor was solid green.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The floor was solid green. It all fell underneath those leaves and it hit that moist soil and germinated. And it all got about 3 or 4 inches tall when I seen it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start coming back and checking on this, seeing what it does.
Mm-hmm.
And then I come back, I don't know, a week and a half later, and season was already in. Bow season was already in by the time I'd done this. I didn't even seed it till bow season was in. It was like later part of September before I ever did it. And it was gone.
Wow.
It was gone. I could not find any fresh growth. As soon as it got up there, say 4 or 5 inches tall, they just mowed it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool just trying different things that the normal average everyday person thinks you need to break ground, you need to do all this, you got to have a tractor, you got to have all this stuff. You don't.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed what you can do with a rake, a weed eater, and a blower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The blowers these days, you can clear a forest floor real quick with one of these blowers you got these days.
You can do it on the cheap, but you still need to buy a John Deere tractor. I'm gonna
Look at that.
Everybody
They don't
needs
even
a
have
John Deere
contracts signed yet, and they're already going full bore. I like
There
it.
you go, Bezer.
I like it.
We got a
and
question.
if you don't have a farm to hunt, by God, you better have a John Deere mower.
Yeah, there you go.
And
We
if
have
your
a-
yard is not big enough for a John Deere riding mower, do they make John Deere push mowers?
If not, they should. by God.
They need to make John Deere push mowers. And if you don't have a big enough yard for a John Deere push mower, you need a John Deere weed eater.
There you go. All right, we have a question from Maine for you.
Let's go.
He wants to know, how does your seed handle the colder soils? And he's in Maine.
Okay.
Yep.
Be earlier planting times.
Or depending, unless yeah. So if you're trying to beat the frost in the fall, yes, earlier planting time. If you are trying to come in if you're trying to do summer smash, then you're going to have to wait till your last frost.
Yeah, you may not have a long enough growing period between freezes to do a spring summer plot. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look online for food plot planning times or something like that, a lot of them is going to come up with
You're going to have a heat map.
it's going to be like a heat map. It's going to have a map of the United States, and it's going to have 4 or 5 lines through it, and it's going to say, okay, here you plant this time period, and I'm going to be honest with you, they're all about the same.
But if you're looking to relevancy, if you're looking to do something this spring, if that's what you're referring to, then you can frost seed now. You're not going to frost seed too early. That seed will lay dormant until the soil temp's right. The air temp doesn't really matter. It only matters for the fact that you want to hit it when the air temp's low enough that you've got a crust, then it melts, then it sucks it in. That clover seed will lay dormant till it's the right time. It's not gonna, unless it sprouts and you just get some ungodly 12-degree whatever. But stagger it back a little bit. There's no rush. If you are referring to frost seeding clover, you got plenty of time, especially that far north.
Yep. And even in the fall, just think about when your first frost is. You need, I would say, on average, you need to be on plant about 60 days before your first frost gets there. That way your product has time to develop and mature, things like that.
And that, I'm assuming, not to sound overly simplicated or stupid, but that's give or take, right? I mean, you're saying typically the first frost is around this time of year, so I'm going to go back up 60 days. It's not like we're not counting menstrual cycles, I guess is my point. Like, that's not, you count back 3 days and however that works. I'm not a lady. I don't have the vagina, so I don't know exactly, but you get the drift.
So for us, we're that's a good analogy. We're Kentucky.
Thank you.
We're Kentucky, Tennessee, so we're pretty much mid-level
August.
Mason-Dixon. So we look around Labor Day. So late August, very beginning of September. That's our money time.
Yeah.
And you got to look at here. You may not have to worry about this up in Maine very much, because and correct me if I'm wrong. He may chime in with a comment after I say this, but they stay a lot more. I'm going to say the M word that a lot of people don't like.
Wait, what does
They're-
it start with?
M.
Oh, okay.
They're a lot more moist than we are down here. We have droughts. So last year, just like we spoke with Eric before y'all went live, is a lot of food plots around here last year failed. And you know what? That is something that there's not one human being on this planet that control.
Right.
Because even though there was several times last fall that they were predicting rain, and we never got it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they would predict rain this time, and everybody would go plant, and we never get it. And it would be another month. It got to the point where, man, it was we had to run big equipment over ground 2 or 3 times
Just to have the weight.
just to get a seed bed,
Mhm.
because the ground got so hard and so dry, you know. And if you were on a open station John Deere tractor, I mean, it would choke you out. That's why we recommend that you get a premium cab John Deere tractor.
It's just a small upcharge. Very,
That's-
very minimal upcharge.
Des, you need to hire these
But it's
guys.
worth it.
Well worth it.
Worth it. Definitely worth it.
Are your lungs? Is your life not worth it?
Wow.
Yeah,
I
how
mean,
much money do you spend on allergy medicine alone every year to not have a premium cab?
Brought to you
That's
by-
right.
So if
Brought to
if
you
somebody
by
says
Liberty.
Right there. John Deere just said it's only a 15% upcharge. 15K upcharge for that.
Bro.
There it is.
Yep.
Spend it.
What's your health savings account worth?
Come on, people.
Come on, get on board.
Bez is writing all these down, like, hey, wow, that's a good selling point. That's a good seller. We should try that.
Hey, just saying.
I think
Like
we
it.
need I think we need to get John Deere on as a sponsor too. There we go.
I mean, luckily we had difficulties on Sunday. Like, you guys hit us on hump day. This is when we really hit our stride.
Yeah,
See
yeah. We're kind of on the down
Tomorrow,
here.
yeah, tomorrow. We're coasting.
So if you were to say, what are like 1 or 2 things that people do that they shouldn't? Like, what are some of the main, facepalm moments of food plots or whatever it might be?
Yeah, so
Plant too early.
Pre-hunting, is that what you're saying? So prep wise?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, so number 1 is they wait too late to implement minerals. And I'm not talking about our protein products. I'm talking about strictly a mineral. So the old school terminology would be
Let's go back. Let's
Okay.
ask
Hey,
Eric.
Hold on, we're going back.
Ask Eric this. Eric, when do you think is a good time of year to implement mineral?
And the old school terminology would be
Wow.
salt block, salt
Yeah,
lick.
yeah, that's exactly. Myself now, knowing what I do now, that I was a conservation officer and everything, is in the spring.
And when would you stop it?
I would stop it probably right before deer season.
And the reason I stopped Tate before he went into his spiel is because that right there is what 95 to probably 98% of every hunter says.
I don't know. I will say that's not. I would rather you say that than we see a lot of July orders. We get a shit ton of July mineral orders, and it's like, that's awesome. We'll take it, but I'm gonna educate you in my shipping confirmation email, because honestly, it is a year-round program.
I
You
was
can
just going to
scale it.
say, most people are going to say year round now with the way it is.
And that, listen, that's not me selling you shampoo and saying you
I know
should wash
that.
your hair twice and rinse and repeat. But seriously, you can scale that back in the winter. You can put a smattering of this stuff out on a site. You can put our 6-pound bag out on a site in the winter. You're good to go. But in the spring and summer, they crave that mineral. They're sweating. It's like a Gatorade to them. It's literally like electrolytes to us, right? So vitamin A, D, and E, all the things they need it's hot as shit. They live outside every day of their life and they've got ticks sucking their blood. Like they need that in the hot months, but it's we can see it on our website every year. July 4th, everybody gets off the lake and they go, man, it's deer prep time. And in July, our orders spike. And it's too late. It's not too late because it's a year-round program, but you're like, man, you guys should have started
think
this.
about it, Jeremy. Your deer, if you want to really look at minerals and that in deer, you want them minerals basically in them before they start to grow their horns back.
I will tell you this. This sums it all up. And then I'm going to let Damon have the floor.
Because I'm itching right now.
He's ready.
Ready.
Dude, he's wearing these flannel pajama pants and he's hot. He's hot. He's
So what the
so I'm gonna turn him loose. He's taking them off right now. So what hey, this is what tells me a lot. When outfitter orders spike, I go we pay attention to that. Outfitters call us for bulk pallet orders in late January. And
we just shipped one out today. We just sent a semi out today.
We sent 10 tons to Virginia. Right. And honestly, it's shed season. It's time to start thinking about deer. Everybody's in turkey mode, but guess what? It's time to get mineral on the ground. They're starting to crave it. They're losing their horns right now. Guess what? They're growing new ones. Get it in their system.
Here's our mineral bag. Okay. All right. What's that?
A handsome gentleman.
That's a big buck, right?
Big buck.
Okay. He wasn't pointing at Harold. He was pointing at the buck.
Big buck, right? So we try our hardest to educate as many people as we can that the mineral will benefit your bucks. What is more important than that, you put mineral out primarily for your does. Okay? The does create your future bucks.
Right.
So does live a lot more stressful life than any buck on the planet. Y'all can probably agree that I don't know if Todd's married, but Eric is. Your wife lives a lot more stressful life than what you do. I promise you. Okay. So they're the ones that bear the child, give birth, nurture the child for a year and a half before they cut it loose, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So if you have these does, and how we did all this R&D, we took inventory of our deer on our farms. And with the beauty of cameras these days, you can take a pretty good inventory of your deer. Okay. Back 15 to 20 years ago, people didn't have names of deer. Well, there's High Tire.
Yep.
Because you didn't know High Tire lived there. Because you never seen High Tire before, right? So with the technology we have today, we can actually monitor our deer. So if you put those minerals in those does and you get them through their pregnancy, you get them through their birth, you get them through all their lactation, those does are still going to those mineral sites as needed. Okay. I'm not going to say daily. I'm going to say as needed. Their bodies will tell them when they need to go to that site. Then you got the fawn. The fawn is going to do what mom does. Let's pretend the fawn is a buck that was bred with the best genetic buck on your farm. Okay. High tire. And that fawn goes there every time the mama does. Yep. Well, in the next year and a half, every time mom goes, he goes. Yep. Then when mom finally kicks him out and says, hey, you're on your own now, he still goes to that site, or he knows where all those mineral sites are around your farm, and he keeps ingesting that into his body. You're giving him better potential to maximize his genetic growth than what his dad did.
Right.
Because it's habitual.
So that's why we say year round is better than starting or stopping. Yeah. Now, if I told you, Eric, you're a perfect prime example of this with your masculine body you have.
Well, thank you.
If I ask you to take a vitamin for 3 months and it's going to change your life, would it change your life?
If you told me that, I'd have to think about it. If Jeremy told me, I'd believe it.
But if I told you to take it year round, it would be more beneficial to you, right?
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, we see in like December, early January, deer hammer minerals, hammer them, because them bucks are coming out of rut. The does are bred. They're run down. They're starting to grow the embryos and the fetus and blah 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 on their body. Their body's going through changes. They need certain things year round. Right. Implement your mineral programs year round.
And that's it. And full disclosure, we sell this stuff, but you can totally 100% scale it back in the winter, but keep it out. You can put a little bit out in the winter and then ramp that up during the hot months, because guess what? They sweat just like you and I. Like, you go play church league basketball, you're going to drink more Gatorades than when you're sitting on the couch in January, right? So that's it. That's
good
it.
question.
Any further questions, Your Honor?
Yeah. What about when, I mean, we're in Minnesota. What about when I have 3 feet of snow on the ground?
Are you a sissy or what? Can you not get out of your house with 3 feet of snow or what?
You just pour it in the snow.
If you live in Minnesota, you have a snowmobile.
No.
Oh.
Well,
but I'm saying if I go to my property, am I just throwing the seed out on top of the snow?
No, you throw the mineral. Yeah, throw the mineral. Throw it right on top of it. What's the snow do? That snow's going to melt. It's going to bring that mineral right down into the soil.
Mineral goes into the soil, Todd. Right? So the deer dig that soil. Have you ever seen that?
But that's my point. So you're saying year-round process. So I could still do that even when there's snow on the ground, is my point. I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah.
So keep that historical site, and it's cool to us, like Damon was alluding to earlier. It's cool to us when we go to these shows and people go, yeah, check this out. My nephew shot this deer, and we don't even know the person. We've shipped to them, whatever. But it is, if you keep that historical site in your state, those deer know when to come back to that. And that's the cool thing. People will come up to us at these shows and go, man, I didn't put anything out this year. I got busy. I had a baby. And man, I hadn't put anything out there for 6 months, and it was still in the dirt. And granted, I'm not talking about our protein or that this is the mineral product. It gets in the dirt, and it is ingrained in there. And
we like dirt or decaying organic matter, a decaying stump, decaying logs. I can't tell you how many times before we start a mineral site, we'll walk the area and find decaying logs and bring them to that area and get a good start from that.
It's a cool time lapse.
Yeah, it's pretty neat to watch to watch logs that you lay in there disappear within 6 months.
Yeah, that is. And I was going to say there, I've had places where I've used mineral like that, and it almost looks like a bathtub. The dirt's gone the next season. I mean, it's just completely gone.
That's it.
Yeah, and what we recommend is 1 mineral site per 75 acres of cover.
Yeah.
Right.
The biggest thing is cover.
Right.
I got an 8,000 acre farm, but I don't have 8,000 acres of cover.
Damn,
Right.
Right.
But I'm just making a point.
I got 12 acres. I got this guy's.
But what I'm saying is, I don't need 300 mineral sites on that property.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just remember 75 to 100 acres of cover, 1 mineral site, and dedicate that as your mineral site. It may take you a year or two to figure out exactly where you need that mineral site, because here in Kentucky, we're lucky enough to have a season that comes in early enough to kill velvet bucks over mineral sites.
You can.
And if you want to kill a velvet buck in Kentucky, you need to be hunting over a mineral site or a
Right.
soybean field.
Yeah.
Catch them on the summer pattern, and that's what I was gonna say. If you got 3 feet of snow and you're truly looking for a way to find a deer on your farm, however many acres it is, and you're allowed to in your state, then put a feeder in that's tall enough to get it out of the snow, and run our protein feed in it, mix with some corn, and let it eat. If you're in a CWD county, then I can't help you. We'll pray for you. I don't.
Yeah, and earlier we were kind of giving game wardens a hard time. Hey, we're all for them. They're doing their job. They're doing what's best for everybody. A lot of people probably don't think so, but just like here in Kentucky, we have to stop putting out supplemental feed March 1st.
Which is not
Right.
does not include mineral.
It does not include mineral. You
Right.
can run mineral in Kentucky year round. Okay.
You just can't go dump corn out. But
Right.
during turkey
Mhm.
season, which is totally understandable. But last year they added a caveat that included June and July. I will never understand it or agree with it, but it is what it is. That's what they decided on. There was one case, they found a dead deer in Ballard County, which Eric knows is down towards the lake. One deer tested positive for CWD, and they've tacked on an additional 60 days, no summer supplemental feeding, which
If you ever want to know about CWD and everything about it, go follow James Kroll,
Yeah.
Dr. Deer.
he'll tell you.
He
all.
is better than any other wildlife agency, university, anything on CWD. He will give you the hard, true facts on CWD.
Correct, and he expressed a public opinion on Kentucky, and I appreciate that. Not only as a feed supplier, but as a sportsman, as
Mhm.
someone who hunts deer in Kentucky, and I appreciate his opinion because it's real. It's not to appease government. It's not to appease the masses. It's just his opinion.
He's not governmentally funded.
Yeah.
He's not sponsor funded.
Correct.
He is himself, and he speaks the truth.
Yeah, and
If it's legit, he'll tell you.
He's not trying to sell feed. He believes in feed. He believes in food plots, but he will tell you exactly what he thinks about CWD, and it's worth a watch. James Kroll, Dr. Deer. But to that point, we do what we do. We sell what we sell, and we push the food plot seed, because someday, the entire country might outlaw feeding.
Yeah, look at Illinois. You can't feed in Illinois, period.
So,
But you can plant food plots.
do we agree with that? No. Are deer gonna spread whatever they're spreading by breeding, by hitting licking branches? Absolutely. but we have to roll with the punches and we have to adapt, and that's where we're at. I think it's a little knee jerk to, to do that over one deer found in one county, but you know, life goes on, and we do what we do, and we appreciate all the support nationwide, because what we do here locally, like I said, we do a lot of business online, and we appreciate everybody that supports us, you know, countrywide. So
That's awesome.
cheers to that.
Cheers. So my last question that I have is, when can I get my Deer30 truck wrap?
Have you seen their truck wraps?
Yeah.
Not the one you showed a little bit ago. They got new truck wrap.
I want the one with the antlers.
They got new ones now.
Oh,
Listen up. If you have a Honda Ridgeline, not happening.
no, they don't.
What do you got?
Or electric. It has to be a diesel.
It has to be a diesel.
Dude, you got us out of that. He drives a gas. Oh, perfect. We're good.
Or
Man, that was
or a John Deere tractor.
Or a John Deere tractor.
There you go. Always comes
right,
back
well,
to the John Deere.
I'll have to take a picture of their new trucks next time and show it to you.
Definitely.
What-
I like
Are
the
you
other
a
one.
Are you a Ford guy?
No, I have a Ram.
Oh God, no, it's okay. Hey, dude, hey, listen. Rip drove a Ram. Rip killed a lot of people. He took them to the train station, bro.
Yeah, but that's people, not deer.
Oh yeah.
Oh my!
I can't kill a deer. That was proven this past fall.
You'll be all right. You'll
Listen.
do better this year.
Todd, if you hook up the ice fishing,
I love the positivity, Eric.
we'll talk about it.
Hey, you
You
got to
get
have
us on
some
it.
positivity.
We can get on an ice fishing trip. We'll talk about it. Right.
All right. Okay. I can make that happen easily.
I feel like that ice is getting pretty thin.
Well, yeah, you ain't going. I only went 3 times this year. It was awful.
But
Our
dude,
ice was awful.
But honestly, like, I've got a really good insurance policy on my truck. We could do a viral video.
That's true.
March ice fishing with Todd.
I tell you what, one of my best ice fishing trips was in the middle of March on Lake of the Woods. We were literally in shorts and t-shirts and just sitting out in lawn chairs, drinking as many beers as we could down. We had sunburn, and we were just watching our tip ups, waiting for big pike. That was a blast.
Yeah.
I got something to tell you I'm pretty excited about.
Okay.
I am fixing to go on my first Osceola hunt.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And the wonderful folks that I'm going with sent me an amazing video the other day and let me know that alligators are breeding, and you won't just find them by water.
Please don't wear them pants when you go.
So you're
They
bringing
will
your
be,
cologne? Is what you're saying?
He filmed I don't know how long it was, and I don't care how long it was. It was massive. It crossed the gravel road in front of him, and it looked like, I don't know.
I'm gonna say Bill Goldberg. He had lats. This gator had lats.
His neck, his head
had
attached
traps.
to his shoulders.
He had
Yeah. And he said, don't be nervous if you're working a bird and an alligator walks up beside you.
But so here was my kickback to that. I'm not going, by the way. I got too much going on.
You have a business to run.
I'm going to Alabama where they've got plenty of snakes that can kill me too. But Damon hates snakes. He's not a snake guy.
Yeah, me neither. Can't do them.
And that's what I told him. I said, that's a beefy gator. Like, he has been eating a lot of snakes. You're not going to see a snake. You're good.
He tried to pet me up, but I don't think it worked yet.
Like, he's proteined up.
I can guarantee you that if I shoot that gator that I seen on that video, I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be human bones in it.
Your TSS is bouncing off that.
Yeah,
gator.
This thing was, dude, it was massive.
It was beef.
And I'm not as excited as I was. You know what I mean?
David's gonna tree stand hunt turkey.
Yes. Yes, I'm taking my climber with me.
I've got
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna get 6 feet off the ground and start yelping.
6 feet up.
Lordy.
Are you guys doing any traveling this spring? What are we doing? Where are we at?
Yeah, we're supposed to go turkey hunting. We're supposed to go boar hunting. Then we're gonna go this fall hunting for antelope. We got all kind of stuff going, so we'll see what happens.
Lots of stuff cooking.
So I was down in Destin about 2 weeks ago, and I got a buddy of mine, Jeff White, with Fish Hunter Enterprises. So if you're ever down in the Destin, Panama City area on vacay and you want to get away from the kids and the wife for a night, look up Fish Hunter Enterprises and let him take you out and shoot stingrays, all that stuff. I mean, it's a great time. So he's a good friend of mine. So every time I'm down there in Destin that time of year in February, a lot of times around his home, the rivers are out. So when the rivers are out, it floods tens of thousands of acres of public hunting property. And then it takes all those hogs and pushes them up on these little high spots.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say little high spots, they can be anywhere from spots as big as this room, which is 20 by 18, to 2 acres. Okay. So being that they're from down there, they know where all these high spots are when the water comes up. So you take all them hogs that are spread over all these tens of thousands of acres, and it pushes them up on these high spots. So you're in a little 12-foot John boat running these swamps, and he knows where these high spots are. So when I go, I request a shotgun with slug. They're using 22 mags. Well, that's not big enough for me. Okay. So we pull up on these high spots, and as soon as you step up on these high spots, depending on how large they are, you got to think about these hogs. They've been up on these high spots for a week or two. They've ate everything on there that they could eat. They're in there with other families of hogs. They're pissed off to the world.
Yeah.
You are now on their ground, and you better shoot to kill first because they're coming after you. And the bad thing is, it's so thick that you can't see them until they're literally like 5 feet from you.
Right.
So when they're charging you, they don't know you're there. They kind of know you're there because you bothered them, but they're running around. And by the time you see them, you better put a slug in their head or they're on you, or you better get up a tree or on a deadfall or something. So a couple of weeks ago, I went down there and we did it again. And man, you're talking about an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Dude, it is.
Did you come back with all your testicles?
Oh, yeah, I got them both.
Okay.
Both
That's
of
good.
them?
I can't use both of them. I can't use them tonight because I'm on the phone with y'all on my wife's 40th birthday party.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good call, guys. Appreciate you, Eric and Todd.
Hey, same time next year. You guys.
That's
good
right.
with it?
Same day. Same day.
Oh yeah, Kentucky's getting beat right now too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it tournament time?
No,
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Well, that is we are at about that time. We actually were well past it. Eric's probably about ready to run out of the room. All that
if I get there,
coffee.
go grab his spotlight.
It's spotlight time. Well,
You do got good cloud cover tonight, Eric.
there you go.
I'll pick you up in about a half an hour, Bub. Because
Yeah, the barometric pressure is above 30, so they should be out feeding heavy.
That's
Same
right.
spot as last week.
That's right.
30. That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, I've just been watching chat, and I don't know how many orders you guys have gotten from our chat. At least 3, I think, tonight. So
We sold 6 John Deere tractors, though.
you may have. Yeah, you may have.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
commission
Is
check
he
will come in
still
the
on
mail.
here?
Yeah, he's still here.
Oh yeah. But
My man.
Jeremy, Damon, can't thank you guys enough for sponsoring us. First and foremost, the partnership, greatly appreciated. We're super
How
excited.
much money did you spend with these guys?
It was 16 grand, but dude, John Deere is they're gonna pump that back.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Don't worry about the John
What's
Deere.
the
will
John
cover it.
Deere guy's name?
Don't run off because I need to talk to you. He wants me to talk to you when we're done here. So stick around for a minute.
Yes, stick around. But
I
thanks
can't
guys
I
for
can't even see straight.
thanks for coming on. Thanks for being fun. I'm glad you guys have found yourselves heterosexual life mates from Tinder, came together to make an incredible company that is doing things that is helping deer, and we all love deer. So that's fantastic. Everybody in
Like
chat,
that
thanks for hanging out and laughing with these guys. And if you're watching on YouTube, come and check us out on Twitch every Sunday night, except for tonight. And Eric, any closing thoughts from you?
No, not really. But thank you, both of you. Jeremy, Damon, I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
You guys
Hey.
are awesome. And
Yeah. Don't know what to do with our hands.
we know we know to show hands. So yeah.
We appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. Let's run it back.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, sounds good. All right, we'll talk to everybody next week. Just a few
Thanks,
days.
everyone. Have a great evening.
Deer30.com.